Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. The total cryptocurrency market cap is continuing aggressively toward the upside, mainly fueled by rotations from Bitcoin into Ethereum and the altcoin market as Bitcoin dominance aggressively drops below the 50 EMA for the second time since 2023. We are going to be discussing what is expected next for the total cryptocurrency market cap, the altcoin market cap, and even going over Bitcoin's short-term and higher time frame price action. Before we go ahead and get into it, make sure to smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, just pure, raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, you can join us on Telegram. This is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. And if you're interested in joining our VIP channel, you can do that by clicking the pinned comment of the free channel, contact our admin, check out our 54+ month trading track record, or watch a 10-minute video showing you inside the channel. Go ahead and check it out, and let's dive on into the content. So taking a look at the past 24 hours of price action, we have seen not really much happen for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still struggling to break through this daily downtrend we have been essentially underneath now since mid-July. Now, thankfully, we are still sitting above this multi-month uptrend spanning back since 74,000. We can see we are coming into this apexing point around about the 15th of this month, so around 5 days from now. So it is likely we are going to see a breakout toward the upside or an aggressive breakout toward the downside within this next 5-day period. Now, while we are sitting above this 15,500 level, the possibility or the probability is slightly in favor of these directional continuations upwards. But as we've mentioned already, for Bitcoin to really trigger that aggressive move upwards, we need to break through 120. On the flip side, we are seeing Bitcoin more or less hold steadily above 115,000. And with that, we are also seeing Bitcoin dominance drop, which is fantastic as it's facilitating money to flow not out of the cryptocurrency market cap, but actually into the cryptocurrency market cap and just rotating into altcoins and Ethereum. We've seen again in times of the total cryptocurrency market cap goes up, Bitcoin dominance goes down, we start to see Ethereum and altcoins perform exceptionally well. And that is exactly what we are seeing here with the total cryptocurrency market cap pushing near to that $3.95 trillion level, and the altcoin market coming back to retest this major high time frame level of resistance at 1.06. We'll come back to discuss all of this in the video today in much more detail. Let's start on the market data. 24-hour volume is down 1.67%, so not really that much change over here. Volume is a little bit on the higher side for the weekend at 299 billion. Liquidations up 61% at 408 million over here. A lot of those liquidations coming from shorts, around 3/4 of those coming from shorts, and over 200 million of the 400 million total coming from Ethereum, which is absolutely insane. If we just look at Ethereum's liquidations, 239 million in comparison to Bitcoin over here at 30 million. So we're looking at around 7 to 8 times the amount of liquidations in Ethereum than Bitcoin. Just shows you the aggressive rotation and aggressive volatility we are seeing here in the Ethereum market as Bitcoin dominance starts to push downwards. Moving over to the DXY. The DXY is still holding above that weekly uptrend. Excuse me, that weekly uptrend, as we can see by this diagonal trend line, holding pretty steadily above this level is a good sign. If we want to see any form of continuation back upwards, we need to sustain above this level. If we do break below this this uptrending diagonal trend line, we would expect continuations back toward the downside, potentially that next leg to 93. or 92. Again, depending on how interest rates go, will determine how quickly that move does play out. In terms of bullish continuations, if we break back above 100, that is going to be the trigger for continuations upwards. So overall trend is still bearish, but we are seeing a little bit of bearish exhaustion over here. And we're watching to see how that price does develop. The S&P 500 is looking very good over here. Again, sitting at $6,413. Fantastic bounce from these lows at 6,250. Provided we can remain above this low range here, we are expecting continuations upward. Again, if we do drop below this low range, that in our eyes is going to be the trigger for correction. So if we're waiting to turn bearish, we will turn bearish when this range low is lost. Until then, the trend is your friend until it ends, and we are very much still in a uptrend. Targets, psychological levels, 6,500, etc. That is it for the broader markets, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. So as we mentioned, we have a lot to take a look at. We're going to be taking a look at altcoins. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We're going to be taking a look at the total cryptocurrency market cap and Bitcoin dominance. Before we get into all of that, if you're interested in supporting the content even more, you can sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX with the exchange links down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume. You'll go to support me making this content, and of course, you'll support yourself in your trading journey, trading on exchanges I use and I trust. Go ahead and check it out. We'll play an ad and we'll get right back into it. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay guys, let's go ahead and jump back into the content, and I want to start on the total altcoin market, then jump over to the total cryptocurrency market cap, and then finish up on Bitcoin. So over the past few weeks, we have seen quite a fair amount of volatility for the altcoin market, but the key thing we saw was that $940 billion level hold as support on the retest. This was a fantastic sign, as we mentioned when that occurred, that this was a key level of support that the altcoin market had to essentially hold above, otherwise we ran the risk of steeper corrections. We have seen a reversal in the price action, bouncing and pushing past that $1 trillion trigger point, which if you've been paying attention, you would know the break of 1 trillion facilitates a move into the next resistance at 1.06. The 1.06 trillion level is essentially the key weekly level of resistance we can see here on the weekly chart, of which we need to break through to facilitate moves into all-time highs for the altcoin market. We're talking about moves potentially into this weekly high back in December 2024 and above. If we want to see that move to 1.16 and above, we need to first break and close this weekly candle above the $1.06 trillion level. In terms of daily price action, just a daily move above 1.06 should facilitate a continuation toward the upside. But again, whether or not we will sustain above 1.06, we are watching for those weekly closes. Now, the reason we are watching for slightly higher time frame closes is because we have seen a lot of daily pushes above this $1.06 trillion level in the past that have not resulted in weekly closes. So again, we go back to the weekly chart, we can see, although we have a lot of these daily closes, we also have a lot of these large weekly wicks toward the upside, suggesting there is a lot of selling pressure that develops above 1.06. So to be confident, we are looking for a piece of data that has occurred, that has not occurred in the historic price action. So again, a lot of these large wicks on the weekly over here, none of which closing. If we were to close a weekly candle above, that would be a piece of data in contrast to what we have seen in the past, different, which could signify that this is going to be the time of which we see that sustained breakout. So we're watching for the weekly close above 1.06, but if we're looking for just strong rotations to continue, even just a break above on the short term should signify a large shift in volatility for the altcoin market, as that is exactly what we have seen in the prior instances we have broken through. Now, if we're watching for continuations, the next level of resistance above the $1.06 trillion level is going to be 1.16. And if we look at the measured move from there, we're looking around about a 10% rally. In contrast, about a 10% rally from that 940 billion into this upper level resistance, around about the same kind of move. So we're looking at around 10 to 20% returns for altcoins on average if we do see this $1.06 trillion level break toward the upside. If we're looking at macro continuations even higher, we absolutely need to see that $1.16 trillion level break. If we do not break above that level, we're not going to see that strong rotation occur again. Anytime we enter price discovery, and this is all price discovery up here, we have no historical price action in this range, and therefore the price action moves a lot more speculatively, but we don't have these historical orders to hold the price action back. So we generally see surges in volatility and surges in this instance in what would be bullish volatility if we were to break through that weekly range higher. So watching very closely to see how that reacts. If we're looking at Bitcoin dominance, we can see Bitcoin dominance is actually breaking underneath the 50 EMA essentially for the second time now in 2+ years. Now, we did see the 50 EMA break toward the upside all the way back in, this was around about January 2023. We saw a slight deviation in December 2024, and then we saw direct continuations toward the upside again. So this is going to be the second breakdown we have seen in over 2 years. And again, that is by no means a small event. Only 2 times in 2 years is pretty significant. And in this instance, not only have we seen the breakdown, we actually saw the push upwards to retest or change of character, and we rejected from it. That is actually very significant as we've added a level of resistance here, which could add to the downward pressure in price action. Potential best case scenarios would be corrections for the Bitcoin dominance chart back into that 54 to 55% region, which again could facilitate strong rotations into altcoins and into Ethereum continuing for the next few weeks. Looking at the total cryptocurrency market cap, the total cryptocurrency market cap, as you know, drives all of this price action. It is the chart we use to gauge the overall direction of the cryptocurrency market. Now, the total cryptocurrency market cap has been continuing up here over the last few days, with the next weekly candle occurring in 23 hours and 43 minutes. If we're looking at key levels, the most important level we have sustained above on the most recent weekly was this horizontal from the prior weekly range high. This weekly close occurring in 23 hours is highly likely to close above, I would say almost guaranteed to close above 3.62 trillion, which is the weekly range high, which will confirm a support resistance flip, flipping this area, which was once a point of resistance, into a point of support. With that, we can also see the total cryptocurrency market cap is sitting above this multi-month uptrend, and the positive and RSI is still very much positive. If we see the breakout of 3.95, which is the weekly range high here, that is going to trigger the next aggressive leg up for not only the altcoin market, but likely for the entirety of the cryptocurrency market, that being Bitcoin as well. So we're watching for breakouts moving into the new week, which will send us into price discovery for the altcoin, for the total cryptocurrency market cap. Potential targets, if we draw uptrending resistance in, could take us as high as around 4.64 trillion. If we're looking at October, could take us as high as 4.7 trillion if we do see continuations up into this dynamic level of resistance. That is going to be best case scenario, and we'll wrap up the worst case scenario very quickly. If we do see the weekly candle close back below this weekly range high, that would be the bearish trigger, okay? And that would be when we expect continuations downwards. If we want stronger confirmations of continuations downwards, we're watching the RSI for a gauge of strength, and we're watching the uptrend for a gauge of shifting trends. So again, the breakdown on the weekly RSI in conjunction with the loss of the weekly uptrend will be the bearish confirmation to when we expect continuations to $3 trillion to occur. Until that happens, the trend is very much bullish and is very much preparing for hopefully another leg toward the upside. Let's move over to Bitcoin now and wrap it up on this chart. So Bitcoin is still very interesting. We can see not that much happening on the short term for Bitcoin. And again, that is partly as a consequence to Bitcoin dominance significantly plummeting and the total cryptocurrency market cap going upwards, which is suggesting that there is rotations occurring mostly out of Bitcoin and into altcoins and Ethereum, but not just rotations occurring out of Bitcoin, but new money just coming into the market, and that money being parked into Ethereum and the altcoin market cap. So generally what we see in later stages of cycles is we start to see that occur. We start to see the altcoin market pick up a little bit more and Bitcoin push sideways, as Bitcoin generally runs through the majority of the cycle, while altcoins and Ethereum tend to pick up at the later end of the cycle. In terms of Bitcoin's price action, keeping it very simple, Bitcoin is bullish. We're in a bullish trend, provided we remain above this monthly uptrend. Again, this is the trajectory of the price action. The trend is your friend until it ends. If we're looking at the weekly chart, we have seen a negative momentum shift here on the weekly chart, and that is just one sign of weakness. However, for that to confirm a breakdown, we need to see that in conjunction with this trend being lost. So provided we remain above this weekly uptrend, we are going to remain in an overall bullish trend, but the warning signs are still present that we could see continuations down. If we're looking at even more warning signs, we could look at something like the 62.09 in the RSI. Again, the 62.09 in the RSI, as you guys do know, and have been watching this content for a couple years now, it's a trigger point we've been watching for, we're talking about, on this channel since 2021, since we started this channel, been talking about this, but we were watching the 62.09 for years and years and years now. The 62.09 is a key trigger point in the weekly where, when broken, generally results in strong 10% or greater corrections downward, and when broken upwards, results in strong continuations toward the upside. Just looking at the last 2 years, we broke the 62.09, we saw continuations upwards. We broke the 62.09, we saw continuations upwards. We broke it again here, we saw continuations upwards. We broke it again here, we saw continuations upwards. We broke it again here, we saw continuations upwards. So generally when we break upwards, we see continuations. The same can be said when we break down. We lost the 62.09, we saw corrections. We lost to 62, we saw corrections. Those corrections historically have taken us to the 50 EMA. So if we do see the loss of that, we could see the 50 EMA, but again, for that to happen, we need to see that trend break. We need to see that monthly uptrend break. If we do not see that monthly uptrend break, it is unlikely we're going to see those corrections at the moment. So that takes us to the current range. As we can see, Bitcoin is in this downtrend, represented by this daily downtrend and of course this monthly uptrend. We're coming closer to an apex point here. This comes up in the 15th of this month, which is actually in 5 days. So in 5 days time, by the end of the 5-day period, Bitcoin will either have broken above this local range high, facilitating a move to 120, or we're going to drop back below 115 and we're likely going to retest or break down the monthly uptrend, marking a potential macro downward reversal point for the market or triggering the next potential leg up for the market, which in conjunction, we will see the break of 3.95 trillion and we will see the break of 1.06 trillion on the altcoin market respectively. If we do see this continuation through this range high here on the short term, we will of course see the breakout of the POC, facilitating the price entering a lower historical resistance range, which will very likely result in the breakout of 120. We do believe we will break out of 120 if we break through the POC level, which is sitting just above 117,000, around 117,800. And again, for us to have a chance at that, we need to sustain above 115.6 to 115. Prior levels of resistance become current levels of support. If we're looking at targets beyond 120, again, we come back to our weekly chart. We draw in our key dates. We're looking at the 6th of October now, 134, 143, 137. Sorry, 133, 137, 144 would be those targets of Bitcoin according to our uptrend, our current trajectory, the 4-year cycle top dates, and of course the uptrending diagonal resistance, an upper ceiling of the trend. So those key points line up to create those potential 3 targets. Again, for that to happen, 120 needs to break. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I'll catch you all in tomorrow's video for the weekly candle close. Hopefully some good closes across the board. Hopefully we do see Bitcoin break through this downtrend, and we see some strong continuations into the new week. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys tomorrow. See you then. Bye.